What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D, and once again, thanks for joining my channel. We're getting close to 70,000 subscribers, and I really do appreciate you guys. So, back when I used to do a lot of TikTok videos, I would do this thing where if a Republican or a MAGA came to my page and made some type of claim, I would ask them to send me proof of that claim. Typically, they would send me an article, and it was so obvious that they had read the headline, but they didn't read the article, because headlines typically mislead you, right? And so they would send me these articles or something, and I would read them, and it would, for the most part, most of the time, be making my point and not theirs. And so then I would point it out to them. I would read through the article on my page, and I would point out, literally highlight the parts where I was saying, here's where your article agreed with me. And I was like, this is why we call you guys ignorant. This is why we say you're in a cult, because you can't even do enough as like reading an entire article or watching an entire video. So Buck Dancing BYRON Donalds posted this video on his page recently. It's like a 2-minute video, and it is about the claims that there were FBI agents at the Capitol on January 6th. If you watch the entire video, if you listen to what's actually said in the video, it actually proves the claim that there were no FBI agents at the Capitol on January 6th. Check it out.
This is a pretty big piece of news to kick off the show today, Sandra. I'm John Roberts in Washington. The report reveals that there were a total of 26 confidential human sources in the crowd that day.
David Spunt is live from the Justice Department. He has got the news for us. David.
Sandra, 3 of those were authorized and tasked by the FBI to be there on January 6, 2021. We're coming up on 4 years since that day of the Capitol riot. This IG report specifically focuses on the FBI's handling of confidential human sources, or as we know them, FBI informants. For years, the outgoing FBI director, Chris Wray, has been pressed on reports of undercover agents. According to this new report, there were no undercover FBI agents. However, there were 3 confidential human sources tasked by the Bureau to be in the crowd on January 6th to specifically watch what the report states is concerns over domestic terrorism. Out of those 3, Sandra and John, 1 entered the Capitol, 2 others entered a restricted area. The report says the FBI did not encourage or authorize any sources to go into the building or a restricted area. In addition to the 3 confidential human sources, the FBI told there were 23 that were there on their own. Now, they had worked with the FBI in the past on other cases, but not specifically on the January 6th rally. Some of them entered a restricted area as well. And what stands out in this report, John and Sandra, none of the confidential human sources that entered the U.S. Capitol or a restricted area were prosecuted by the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office. Remember, this is an office that is still arresting nearly 4 years later and prosecuting people with this case. Now, in a response to the Inspector General, the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office says the following. The D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office generally has not charged those individuals whose only crime on January 6, 2021 was to enter the restricted grounds surrounding the Capitol, which has resulted in the office declining to charge hundreds of individuals, and we have treated the confidential human sources as consistent with this approach.
So basically, there were 3 confidential informants there, not FBI agents, that were asked to be there and basically be snitches on what was going on at the Capitol on January 6th. There were 26 others there who happened to have been confidential informants for the FBI at some point, but they weren't there under the guidance of the FBI at all. They just happened to be there on their own. So there were only 3. Now, you would think after watching that and hearing that there was absolutely 0 actual FBI agents there, people would be like, oh, dang, we were wrong. There weren't any FBI agents there. But no, they took the 3 plus the 26 or 27 there were that were confidential informants, not FBI agents, basically people who had probably gotten in trouble sometime and were flipped and said, hey, since you're in trouble, we're not going to give you this jail sentence, but you can be a snitch for us or whatever, right? Not actual sworn in agents or anything. But the MAGAs are in the comments saying, yeah, we knew it. The FBI was all in there. The feds need to be arrested. These people are just the critical thinking skills are just not there. They're just not there. Like the guy, and the news does this on purpose, right? The guy says there were absolutely no FBI agents there. He has to say that because that's the truth, so he has to tell that part. But then he glosses over that and goes into talking about the confidential informant so much that these people actually think it proves that the FBI were the ones who were like inciting the violence. Now, there are some people who have noticed that it's only confidential informants. But you know what they're saying? Those three people are the reason the insurrection happened. So somehow, three people were able to manipulate thousands of people to enter the Capitol in like 4 or 5 different areas. This is what these people are saying. Again, the critical thinking skills, the fully developed brain is just not there. And understand, when I say this, this is the best way I can put it without getting in any trouble by YouTube. But what I want to say is, when I tell you the critical thinking skills weren't there, what I mean is these people are absolutely stupid. That's just all you can come up with this. There were no agents there. These people went there because they were lied to. Let's not forget, they were lied to and told that an election was stolen. There have been 60 court cases that prove that election was not stolen. That crazy movie, 2000 Mules or whatever, that guy who made the movie has come out, Dinesh D'Souza has come out and said that wasn't true. The ballot harvesting, the Dominion voting machines, everything's been proven to be wrong. So the people who went there under false pretenses because they were lied to by one man, Donald Trump. They were there, they shouldn't have been there. Then they went there, they breached the Capitol, they threatened the lives of our elected officials, and at the same time, for 187 minutes, the guy who sent them there didn't tell them to leave. He watched the video from his home. He watched it. He enjoyed it. He saw them assaulting police officers, threatening his vice president, threatening other members of Congress, and he smiled about it until he was begged by everyone, begged by people texting him, please make a statement, tell these people to go home, do something about it. And then he finally did. And now you got these people out here saying, what happened to Ray Epps? And, oh, what about... It was you guys. There was no Antifa. There was no BLM. There were no feds. They were all MAGAs. They were all Republicans. And that is why those are the people who are sitting in jail today. You will find no Antifa there. You will find no BLM there. You will find no feds there. You won't even find the confidential informants. And that's another conspiracy. Now they're saying, why weren't they arrested? And they've come out and said, we didn't arrest people who did not breach the Capitol or didn't do things wrong. Republicans want you to believe, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump, they want you to believe that there are people who are sitting in prison right now that didn't do anything but kind of walk around the Capitol and look around. That's not true. And that is why they haven't released the tapes. Because if they release, like we didn't see it all live anyway, but if they release all those tapes, all they would do would be is proving we were right the whole time. Just like we were right that there were no feds there and these people cannot comprehend a video saying exactly that, we would be right if they released all the tapes as well. These people were criminals. These people were manipulated. And every single one of them deserves every single minute they're sitting in prison. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.